right, man. All right, man. We can't run from it. We can't run from it. As much as we would love to run from it, as much as we would love to not talk about it, as much as we would love to just go out on Thanksgiving Eve, consume some adult beverages, and pretend the Philadelphia 76ers don't exist. We can't do that. We can't run from it. This is what we signed up for. Sixers sickos is a lifestyle. 194 people in here hit the like button. The Sixers did lose again. I'm running out of positive takes, if I ever had any to begin with. We are wearing all black with the shades to represent the official funeral of the 2024-25 Philadelphia 76ers. 220 people in here. Hit the like button for me before we get started. I think I already said that. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. We're approaching 30,000 subscribers. Thank you for all the support. Get all the Sickos merch at runitbackphillyshop.com, including the Maxey McCain 25 Make the Sixers Great Again t-shirt. This t-shirt means it's over, man. It means we have two young scorers to build the future around, and it's over, bro. And if you don't see that it's over by now, you're smoking drugs, man. You're smoking straight drugs. I'll give you 20% off this t-shirt right now on runitbackphillyshop.com. Use the promo code SICKOS20, SICKOS20. This is brought to you by DraftKings. New customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 on DraftKings using promo code RUNITBACK. And Game Time Ticket app, use code CLNS for $20 off. Speaking of betting, do not ever tail my bets. Use DraftKings. It's the best sports betting app in the world. And they're going to give you $200 in bonus bets by betting just $5 using my promo code. Promo code RUNITBACK. But do not tail my bets, because no matter what I bet on, or when, or how, I lose. In the history of ever. And I want to let you guys know I have to apologize, man. I have to apologize. I broke Jared McCain, guys. I broke Jared McCain. The game started out. Jared McCain had it rolling in the first quarter. Looked confident. Hit a couple shots. A very nice take to the rim floater. Left-hander in traffic. Beautiful. Fundamental. Ambidextrous. What can't he do? He just looks like he's going to give you 30 every night. He had 8. He was cooking. I put $100 on a live bet for Jared McCain to drop 30 on DraftKings. Jared McCain immediately went ice cold for the remainder of the game. Not just ice cold, his decision-making completely went away. He started turning the ball over left and right. He started being passive in the third and the fourth quarter with Maxey on the floor. Even when Maxey was getting double-teamed, McCain should have stepped up and gave us a bucket. He started giving the ball to Kelly Oubre and Ricky Council and Gershon Yabusele. I ruined Jared McCain, guys. And I'm sorry. But all jokes aside, he's a rookie. I would love to think that realistically, me putting a live bet on Jared McCain to drop 30 didn't break him. But it does feel like that happened. So now I have to put $100 on a Jared McCain under next game. It's the only way to break the curse. It's the only way to break the curse. I got to put $100 on a Jared McCain under next game. It's the only way to break the curse. Sixers lose another game. Hey, Crazy, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Welcome to Sicko Nation. Crazy with a K. No better name I could think of for someone to join Sicko Nation than Crazy with a K. Thank you for joining Sicko Nation. Thank you for being here. Sudlush RZ, Super Chat. Justice for Eastwood. The Sixers are torturing him by forcing him to watch games for a living. The only plus you might win is if you bet against the Sixers. So, yeah, deep into the fourth quarter, I was like, you know what? Since I can't win any bets, I'm going to go bet Houston Rockets money line. They were up by 13. I knew the odds were, I knew the payout wasn't going to be anything. But I was like, since I can't win anything, I need to go bet on the Rockets and the Sixers will win this game. So I put $5 on the Houston Rockets to win a total of 61 cents. The Sixers made a comeback. They sent it to overtime. And they absolutely choked in overtime. And the Rockets won the game. The Sixers scored 3 points in overtime, guys. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Sixers lose. 122 to 115. Let's look at it, man. Overall, here's what's happening. Overall. The Philadelphia 76ers supporting cast is terrible. They're missing two stars that they owe $400 million to over the next 4 years who have degenerative knee conditions. You have a rookie who's been carrying the team for a couple of games. Tyrese Maxey came back and got in his groove. It was nice to see Tyrese Maxey get back and get comfortable and look like the Tyrese Maxey of old. Before the beginning of the season where he was chucking 35 shots a game trying to get up anything because Joel wasn't playing and Paul wasn't playing. And then the hamstring injury. But realistically, this team is not good, man. Like I said, if this is the rest of the season, you're going to see Maxey and McCain have 30-point games, and the Sixers are going to lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. And the reason is they can't defend anybody. They can't defend anybody. The personnel-wise, they can't defend anybody. And then Nick Nurse is the white Doc Rivers, and he just won't try something else. He will not try something else. Nick Nurse essentially forfeited the fourth quarter and overtime of this game by playing Gershon Yabusele at center. I just can't figure out. I don't know how he doesn't know by now that Gershon Yabusele cannot defend NBA centers, especially somebody like Elprin Şengün, who is 6'11", and isn't the most athletic guy in the world, but he's very, very intelligent. And he knows how to use his body. He knows how to box out. He's going to dominate you in the paint. He's baby Jokic, man. It's what he is. And he just went Yabusele, 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 Yabusele. And he got cooked over and over and over and over again. Offensive rebound, offensive rebound, offensive rebound, putback, offensive rebound, putback. Elprin Şengün had 4 offensive rebounds in the game. He had 14 total rebounds in the game. He had 22 points and 7 assists. But I think the main thing was they couldn't get a stop when they needed one at all. They really couldn't get a stop at all. Maxey put the team on his back in the fourth quarter. Big shot after big shot after big shot after big shot. But if you can't make a stop on the other end, it absolutely doesn't matter. And your only chance is to play a Bona. Your only chance at having a center who can play defense is to play a Bona. It's your only chance. And so by not even trying to play him, you are forfeiting games because you're watching the team not be able to defend anybody at the rim. And so I'm not going to play a Bona. Then you're going to lose. You might lose when you play him, but you're going to lose if you don't play him. Why wouldn't you at least take a chance? At least try something different. What do they say is the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. We just saw the same thing again, man. We just saw the same thing again. Now, he started Guerschon Yabusele and Andre Drummond together in this game. I thought that meant clearly he's going to use a third center. He's going to try a Bona. He's going to say, listen, we're 3-13. We have the worst interior defense in the entire league. We can't stop anybody. I'm going to try a Bona in this game, see if he can give us some energy on the defensive end, see if he can get us some boards, see if he can block some shots. The guy's averaging like 5 blocks a game in the G League. Not a single minute for a Bona in the game. And Guerschon Yabusele got absolutely toasted on the defensive end. Guerschon Yabusele played 43 minutes in this game. Kelly Oubre played 45. Tyrese Maxey played 45. Jared McCain played 41. Ricky Council and KJ Martin combined for 49 points. Reggie Jackson and Eric Gordon played 5 and played 7. Basically, Nick Nurse went with a playoff rotation of 7 players. And Justin Edwards, Adem Bona, Jeff Doughton Jr., Lester Quinones, all DNP coaches' decisions. And they lose again. So what do you do? What do you do? First quarter, the chat was saying, somebody in the chat said, if I see Eric Gordon in this game, I'm going to lose my shit. I said, just wait. First bench rotation, Eric Gordon. And once again, this guy was horrendous. Horrendous. Absolutely atrocious. Eric Gordon was. Is Nick Nurse watching the 76ers play basketball? I'm convinced that Nick Nurse he's hired a clone of himself. He's making lineup decisions from the comfort of his home in Toronto. And the coach on the bench is not Nick Nurse. It's a clone of Nick Nurse, or it's a robot that looks like Nick Nurse. Because it seems like he's setting lineups and he's not watching what happens in those lineups. Because we've seen Eric Gordon now for the first 17 games of the season. He's cooked. He's fried. He's barbecue chicken, man. He's done. He's retired. Stop putting this dude on the floor. This guy had so many drives to the rim. He played 7 minutes. He shot the ball 3 times. All 3 shots were drives to the rim. All of them were absolutely god-awful, worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Eric Gordon drove to the rim, put up a left-handed floater for some reason. A lefty floater from Eric Gordon. Off the backboard. Didn't hit the rim, didn't hit anything. He just threw the ball with his left hand at the backboard. What am I watching? About a minute later, he decides, you know what? Let me try that again. He drives in again, gets sandwiched between 2 defenders, and throws the ball at the bottom of the rim, dude. It almost went through the rim the wrong way. What am I watching? Then you got this dickhead Kelly Oubre, man. This is all first half stuff, by the way. But then you got this dickhead Kelly Oubre, who thinks for some reason he's a star of the team. In no world should I see Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain on a basketball floor and Kelly mother freaking Oubre running a pick and roll from the top of the key, or waving players off to run an ISO, or shooting a corner 3. What am I watching? I'm so lost. I'm so lost on what's happening, bro. There was a play in this game where Ricky Council brought the ball up the half court. Somebody in the chat said, this is a YMCA game, bro. Anybody can bring the ball up. There's no plan. There's no offense. There's no pecking order. There's nothing. There's just a ball out there, and it's like, hey, go play basketball. I don't know. Kelly Oubre, bro. Give the ball to Tyrese, you damn idiot. Give the ball to McCain. Get in the corner. Play hard defense. Cut to the rim. Fight for rebounds. Do what Kelly Oubre is supposed to be doing. Why are you dribbling the basketball? Ever? Dude, there was a play where Kelly Oubre brought it across half court, tried to double cross his defender, dribbled it right off his foot. What am I watching? What am I watching, man? And I didn't see it again in the second half, so maybe finally Nick Nurse said to him, hey, jackass, who do you think you are? You're a utility player, bro. We got 2 players on this game that can give us 30 points anytime. Nobody wants you to be dribbling the basketball. Just do what you're supposed to be doing, bro. There was just so much disgusting basketball again, man. Just disgusting. Backdoor cuts, alley-oops, getting beat in transition on free throws. There was a play where Tyrese Maxey shot a fadeaway mid-range jumper with 2 defenders on him going out of bounds. I'm not a mathematician here, but that tells me that you're in a 4-on-3 advantage on the other end, and somehow the Houston Rockets beat them down the floor with all 3 players. And got an easy bucket in transition. Do we even want to look at fast break points or transition points in this game, guys? It was so bad. It was so bad. Team stats. Points in the paint, 50. Fast break points, 26. Points off of turnovers, 17. The Rockets had 14 blocks. Out-rebounded us 52-42. You got out-rebounded again, 52-42, and you won't try something else. I'm running out of things to say, man. You know, and the only good I can take away from this game is that Tyrese Maxey willed us to an overtime in the third and the fourth quarter. Put the team on his back and willed us to overtime, and then we scored 3 points in overtime. You know, Jared McCain was getting clamped by Dylan Brooks after the first quarter. Really, Jared McCain was getting clamped by Dylan Brooks, and that was. You know, that was basically the story of Jared McCain, the rest of the 3 quarters after the first. Jalen Green had 41 points on a back-to-back. The Rockets were on a back-to-back, by the way, guys. They were supposed to be tired. Jalen Green gave you 41, and they were easy. They were easy buckets. This team is so bad defensively. So bad defensively. This is one of the worst defensive teams I've ever watched play basketball. I'm not exaggerating at all. This is one of the worst defensive teams I've ever watched play basketball. I mean, the whole game, wide open 3, wide open 3, wide open 3. If it's not a wide open 3, it's a drive to the rim. There's no help defense at all. Half the time, there's nobody in the paint. I don't know how you run a 5-out defensively. Half the time, there's nobody in the paint, dude. There was a couple of plays in this game where they dumped it down to Elper and Şengün, and there was nobody near him, like he was posting up a ghost. And he just caught the ball with his back to the basket. There's supposed to be somebody there. He just turns around and, oh, okay. Dunks it. I'm just so confused as to how this team can be this bad. And yeah, Tyrese Maxey willed us to victory, or not victory, willed us to overtime by scoring all those points in the third and the fourth quarter, and that's great. But Tyrese Maxey defensively in this game was so bad. So bad. And it's always communication defense with Tyrese Maxey. It's always ball watching. It's always rotation stuff, or just stay on your man and don't let him beat you back door. There's a play where we always overhelp too. You know, my man Brian Pumper always points that out in the chat. We always overhelp. We always fake double team to let a guy go wide open on the baseline. Why? Why is Tyrese Maxey leaning in to fake double team Elprin Şengün? So Jalen Green, maybe the best baseline cutter in basketball right now, can have a wide open cut to the baseline, and Elprin Şengün, who can pass the ball like Nikola Jokic, can say, oh, look, double team. Oh, look, incredible athlete cutting to the rim. Boom, no look pass. This is so easy. I don't even have to open my eyes to beat you guys at basketball. The players, the coaching, the system, everything's bad. This team is bottom of the league in every statistic you can think of. And that's why I don't understand how there's anybody that thinks they're going to win anything. They're 3-14. I still had people on Twitter today telling me, hey, man, it's the beginning of the season. Calm down. Joel Embiid and Paul George are going to come back, and they're going to start winning games, and they're going to be a contender. You guys are smoking drugs, dude. You need to lay off. You need to go to rehab. All right, 1-800, whatever the number is for people with issues like that. Call it. Call it. Call it. And when they say, what can we help you with? Say, I still believe in the Philadelphia 76ers. They're going to pull up in a fleet of armored vehicles and pull you out and put you in a straitjacket, you crazy son of a bitch. That's what's going to happen. You psychopath liars. You're lying to yourself, dude. They're 3-14. They actually put up more of a fight than I thought they were going to put up because the Rockets are a team full of 6'10" freak athletes, like most NBA teams. You know, I could ask a fucking 8-year-old how to build an NBA basketball team. I could say, hey, you know what? Like this. If aliens came down to Earth, and I'm going to take the Discord calls right when I'm done with this absolutely ridiculous analogy I'm about to make. If aliens came down to Earth, okay, and never saw a game of basketball, ever, right? And you said, hey, Mr. Alien, we're playing a game here. We have a ball. Here's the ball. You see the ball? And there's a 10-foot goal right there, okay? And there's a 70-foot court or 90-foot court on each end, right? And the goal is for my team to try to put the ball in the hoop more than the other team, okay? And then I got to stop the other team from putting the ball in the hoop on that end. They would say, oh, I'm not even from here and I've never seen this before, but you should get some really fast, really tall guys. Step number one to this game that I've never seen before in my life, I just feel like you should probably get a lot of really fast, really tall guys who can jump. Daryl Morey, who's been doing this all of his life, gave us really short, really slow guys. So Nick Nurse says, okay, Eric Gordon can't play basketball. He saw how atrocious he was in the first quarter. At least he took him out. But he did that last game too. He keeps seeing how bad Eric Gordon is, and then he does it again. And by the way, I've said this before. If you haven't heard me say it, in an interview, Nick Nurse said out loud, I give the veteran players the first crack at it. He literally said that. He said, if it doesn't go the way we want, then I look to the young guys to give them an opportunity. This guy literally admitted, I play the oldest players first. What is wrong with this guy? And then he's on the sideline, just totally confused the whole game. I can't figure out why my team full of 35-year-old short, slow guys is getting demolished out there. Oh my God. Now, you know what it is? And I'm going to say this too. You know what it is about Nick Nurse? He's too damn focused on yelling at the officials the whole game. Remember back in Toronto in Sixers playoff games, he used to be bitching at the ref the whole game, and we were so annoyed by this guy, and Joel Embiid told him to stop bitching. Remember that? Then he came here, and I thought, like, oh, you know, I hated it when he was in Toronto, but now it's for my team, so that's cool. Now I'm watching this team is 3-14, and this idiot's screaming at the ref the whole game. The referee isn't the one that didn't build a system on the team, dumbass. The referee isn't the one playing Eric Gordon in 2024. I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of this shit, man. I'm sick of this shit. But I do want to say this. He saw that Eric Gordon sucked, so he was like, all right, fine, I'm going to play Ricky Council. Ricky Council sucks too. Now, I already knew Ricky Council sucks at basketball. Ricky Council's an athlete, so that's cool, and it's helpful in certain situations. It's helpful for a certain amount of minutes in a game. Plays him 27 minutes. Ricky Council had 10 rebounds because he's athletic and he fights. It's cool to play Ricky Council. In certain minutes, I would never play him probably 27. But Ricky Council had the ball in his hands in crunch time. That should never happen. I mean, fourth quarter, Ricky Council, 3 minutes left, almost sold the game. He had the ball at the free throw line and looked like a deer in headlights. He looked like Ben Simmons at a three-point line. He was like, please, somebody take the ball. Oh, my God, I don't know what to do. And Maxey had to scramble back and try to get it from him, and he had back-to-back turnovers, man. He turned it over on that play, and then they had Ricky Council inbounding the ball. And I think he got a shot. I think he got a 5-second violation. But even if he didn't, he threw it right to the Houston Rockets. This team's so down bad that Eric Gordon's unplayable. And we got Ricky Council in the game in crunch time with the ball in his hands making decisions. Justin Edwards has a little bit more of an offensive game than Ricky Council. Won't give him a shot. Lester Quinones has a little bit more of an offensive game than Ricky Council. Won't give him a shot. But Nick Nurse said about Ricky Council after the game, he said, he can get on the offensive glass. He can shoot the deep wind three. I don't know what a deep wind three means. Kind of his first great chance for him to play extended minutes and a great effort by him, Nick Nurse said on Ricky Council. Take that for what you will. Nobody really cares. And I don't think playing Justin Edwards or Bona or Lester Quinones is going to win you many more games. I'm just saying you can't win a game anyway. What is the point? You know what I mean? I think that's all I want to say about this stupid game. There's some people in the Discord, man, and we're going to get to them. I got to hear your thoughts. I can't even believe I keep talking about this team for even 30 minutes after every game because it's like, what am I supposed to say? What are any of us supposed to say, man? Mufasa, I got you in the Discord. Mufasa, are you there? Wait, let me put you in here, bro. Mufasa is in the Discord with his thoughts on the Sixers' loss to the Houston Rockets. Mufasa, your mic is muted in the Discord, bro. Unmute your mic and say what's up, man. Mufasa, or did you fall asleep listening to me rant about this stupid team? Mufasa going once, Mufasa going twice. Mufasa is out of here. Yo, let's hear from RJ, man. Haven't heard from RJ for a minute. Yo, RJ. RJ, give me something, man.
Look, man.
What's up?
I'm gonna tell you this. Yo, first of all, what's up, DJ? You've been good. Hope everybody having a great Thanksgiving, man.
Where are you at?
Huh?
Why is there? There's like a screeching noise in the background. What is that?
I'm probably my wife. Anyway. But anyway.
What's up?
Yes. Oh, well, what I'm about to say is, yeah, it's a wrap, bro. Like, it's a wrap. No more really. We can't be caring, bro. We got to look at it as a punt. Well, not even a punt year. We tanking, bro. It gotta be a tank year. This is done.
I agree.
This is done.
I agree, man. What
like,
does Nick Nurse like? What is he? I don't understand. How do you like? What do you?
I know what Nick Nurse's problem is.
Where's the limit?
Look, Nick Nurse is on. He his philosophy is free flowing. So when you got free flowing, you got corner boys trying to play a big boy game. They trying to run the store. No, you a corner boy. You staying outside. You make sure nobody come in that ain't supposed to be on this corner. And then the problem is he got the corner boys trying to go ahead and take the money from the cashiers. No, 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 bro. This is not how it works.
Yeah,
He
I don't.
has no structure, and that's the reason why we're going to lose so many games. He you can't have a free flowing offense with 8 to 9 new players. It doesn't make sense. They don't have chemistry. You can't have. They don't have. Nobody has any like I know we was mad at Doc when he was saying it's a was it a pecking order? You
Yeah.
have to have a pecking order. You can't be having Kelly Oubre shoot more shots than McCain or shooting more shots than
Well,
Tyrese Maxey. Like
you
you just
can,
can't.
Doc used to win a couple games without when he was out, when the stars were out, when there wasn't a pecking order, but that's because you got to have players on the floor that can get buckets. He had I don't know. I guess he had more players that could score in a free flowing offense, or just guys that could beat their man off the dribble. I mean, this is a bunch of players outside of Maxey and McCain. This is a bunch of utility guys that don't have a whole bunch of basketball skills or basketball IQ at all. And then when there's lineups of Oubre, Drummond, KJ Martin, I mean, dude, these are 3 football players on the floor.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work. But there's not much else on the roster, though. So you got too many damn Matisse Thybulles out there, man. They don't know how to play basketball.
Yeah, they definitely supposed to be on the Eagles. I ain't gonna lie, bro. BG out, we might need a KJ Martin on the edge, bro. But no, bro, we gotta really consider firing Nick Nurse, man.
That's what I was gonna say, man. 3-14. Like, at what point does it? What's he allowed to go 3-20? Where's the limit?
His free flow offense is destroying. Like, no one has like a plan because there's no plan. It's free flowing. So everybody like, all right, well, shoot, I'm gonna take the shot this time. The next time you take the shot. No, look, you gotta recognize who's hot and who's supposed to be getting the ball 99% of the time. Now go ahead and get no more shots for Eric Gordon. I told you about Eric Gordon in the off season. See, I was like, yo, Eric Gordon going to destroy the team. And
I was like, no, he's not even going to play. He's not going to play any minutes, man. He's cooked.
Man,
Every game.
I feel like Thanos. Like, I'm like, man, like, at what cost? Like, I won, but at what cost, bro? We knew this team wasn't good enough, but we was like, all right, we just gonna give him a chance. Paul George coming in there. I was like,
it's cooked, man. I agree, bro. I agree, man.
Paul Weber.
Tank for flag, dude. Tank for flag. And the people that are like, we're not tanking, bro. You're just overreacting. They're not. I don't have to want them to try to tank. They're doing it accidentally. They're tanking without trying, so it doesn't. They're tanking anyway.
They're definitely taking, bro. And this first of all, I wanted to ask you about what do you think about the Embiid? I didn't catch a video about the Embiid knee, but I think that's insane that they just override what the doctors are saying.
Yeah. No, they didn't override it. They didn't override it. The doctors, they said they got opinions from at least half a dozen doctors, which is a funny way to make 6, which is a funny way to sound like it's more than 6. You know what I mean? You can be like, they got opinions from 6 doctors. No, they got opinions from half a dozen docters.
Oh my God.
And I mean, it's ridiculous.
Only the Sixers, bro. Bro. Where will you ever hear those type of storylines?
I don't know, bro.
Other organization, not even the fucking Hornets. The Hornets been trash for all my life, right? But they don't have any crazy storylines like the Sixers, bro. We be having like, oh man, girlfriend took took his leg out so he can't play for the rest of the season.
Yo,
So,
it's wild, bro. It's wild. Yo, RJ, I'm gonna get to some other callers, man. Thanks for calling, and have a great Thanksgiving, buddy.
All right, man. You too, bro.
RJ on the Discord. Yeah, the Sixers they're unbelievable, man. You know, Kelly Oubre last season having a career start to his season gets hit by a car and turns back into Kelly Oubre. Like whatever he was doing to play above his actual skill level, the basketball gods sent somebody in a car to take him out, man. Just incredible stuff. But yeah, you know, people are like, we're not tanking, bro. We're not throwing the season away. We owe Joel Embiid this much money. They're 3-14. They can't win. They don't have to try to tank. They're not good enough to win a game. You know, the rest of the NBA is getting good, man. The rest of the NBA is getting good. The only teams I can see this team beating is Charlotte in overtime, is the Brooklyn Nets, is maybe the Washington Wizards. I don't know, man. Like, you're not going to win many games with this roster. And Joel Embiid wasn't there, by the way. Somebody said they saw Paul George there. Kyle Lowry was on the bench. Which, by the way, Kyle Lowry was on the bench with a name tag that said Coach Lowry. Okay, I'm glad we all think this is a fucking joke. I'm glad we all think this is a fun time to make jokes about how old our players are. Oh, I'm Coach Lowry because I'm so old I shouldn't even be on this roster anymore. And Ala and Kate are freaking laughing about it. Oh yeah, I'm glad we're 3-14. Let me put a name tag on and make a subliminal joke about how old and washed I am. Is anybody serious here? No, they're not, because everybody got paid already. But yeah, I want to know what the limit is for Nick Nurse, man. Like, are you allowed to go 3-30 before you get fired? Like, what's the limit, man? I don't know. Leandro is in the Discord, and then Feezy, and then Skills, and then Maxman, and then A Decent. Yo, Leandro. Leandro in the Discord. Leandro got Mike muted in the Discord. Leandro, maybe he was drinking like RJ was. Feezy in the Discord. Yo, Feezy468.
Hey, man.
Feezy, what's going on, man?
Pretty good. I want to say first, right off the bat, first thing, I am absolutely, I know I shouldn't be, but I am absolutely astonished that Nick Nurse hasn't played a damn Bona. We know Andre Drummond's not the best rim protector. He's there for rebounds. And we also know that he shouldn't really be playing more than 10-15 minutes a game.
Yep.
And we also know that Yabusele he's a good stretch four on offense. On defense, he's very questionable, especially at center. Especially in rim protection and in the defense and rebounding. And I am so shocked that Nick Nurse still hasn't played at damn Bona.
Yeah, dude, you're on the money. You're on the money. Yabusele's a nice stretch four, but it's been blatantly obvious that he can't guard centers on the defensive side at all. Yeah.
Especially someone like Şengün.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up Adem Bona's blocks per game. He's averaging 15 and 8 and 2 blocks per game in the G League right now. 6'10", 240.
You're losing anyway. Just play him. Like you can play him and still lose. Fine. You're not playing him and you're losing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just hope that it becomes kind of like a Charles Bassey situation where we don't play him at all and he gets released and he gets an opportunity on another team.
The Charles Bassey situation was even worse because they played him a couple games and he looked great. And he had a 5-block performance against Nikola Jokic in an upset over the Denver Nuggets in November. I remember that like it was yesterday, dude. The guy had 12 rebounds and 5 blocks against Nikola Jokic. And they never played him again and released him.
Dude, how do we get like the worst like coaching staffs in the entire NBA every single time?
It's unbelievable, man. They're not smart
Yeah.
people. They just got there somehow, some way, but they just do dumb things, man. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I'll say this about Nick Nurse. He's only like a good coach when he has like a really good roster around him. When like obviously the roster sucks right now, but when you need to develop some guys, when you need to like actually coach, I don't think he's that good. Which that's just a
Right.
really fancy way of saying he's a Kawhi merchant. But
Yes, absolutely. Because if you have a loaded roster and you have guys that can play defense, they does that make you a good coach? Couldn't anybody really coach that team? Hey, give the ball to Kawhi Leonard, run some ball screens, run some pin down screens on the other side. Basketball's not complicated. We could all draw up a play with some motion and some off ball screens and use players to their advantages if the players are that good. So, anytime somebody's like, he doesn't coach up or he doesn't develop or he doesn't do this, he's just really good if he has a really good team. I'm like, is he really good then?
yeah, that's a good point. And you can tell it is so blatantly obvious that there's such a lack of a system. Kelly Oubre last season, I feel like he was doing so well because he was around the system. And obviously, you know, if you the team runs around or is around built around Joel Embiid, so you can argue that, they don't have a system because Joel Embiid isn't there. But at the same time, you had this plan. You signed him to a 3 million max, 3-year max extension, and you had this plan that he's gonna heal up and he's gonna miss like 60 games or something. And you don't have a system with him like out. And also, this team is supposed to like, this is supposed to be like the quote unquote best roster Embiid has ever had, and they can win games without him. And this is generally the worst like Sixers roster. This is worse than whenever Tobias Harris or maybe even Ben Simmons was on the team. It's so bad.
They have no idea what they're doing at all, man. They have absolutely no idea what they're doing. The Sixers have been Embiid merchants for 8 years. They just like, oh, Joel Embiid's so good. As long as we put him on the floor and give him the ball in the paint, he'll either get double teamed and kick it out or he'll score. That's it. That's how they've won so many games over the past 8 years. They've never built an actually good roster around him. And now he's on the downside of his career with these knee injuries and it's over. They've never done it right. You know what I mean? They've never done him right, dude. They drafted him and let him be the Saquon Barkley of the NBA, except he didn't eventually. Maybe he does go to a more competent team like Saquon did and does some amazing things, but I don't know.
I know. I can kind of see him like being traded to the Heat. That might work for both teams. Like if we get Bam and some picks or some players.
If Jimmy can convince them to do that, they might do it. But the scary part is that Joel Embiid looks like he's having trouble even getting back on the court at all, and that really hurts the trade value. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now all this stuff coming out about how the Sixers knew his knee was injured and still gave him an extension and all this, but like that looks even worse. I mean, that means he was hurt 3 months ago in the middle of the summer. Is he done? Like, why'd you give him an extension? They thought they could put him through a protocol that promotes healing? What the hell does that mean, dude? It's either healing or it's not. It's insane, dude. It's insane.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Have a good night, man.
Appreciate you, Feezy. Thanks for calling, man. Great points as always, man. Feezy468 in the Discord. Yeah, you're watching Yabusele get smoked over and over and over defensively. You got a 6'10", 240-pound center who's literally known for blocking shots in the G League, and he won't play him. There's somebody named Ben Simmons in the chat that keeps typing the same thing over and over because he wants me to react to it. I'm not going to do that unless you super chat. Who else, man? Max Man, Skills, and A Decent. Yo, Max Man in the Discord.
Hello.
What's going on, man?
It's good. I didn't know I was actually going to get in.
What's up, bro? Yeah, I got you. This is a show for the people, man. A show for the frustrated fan, bro. You good?
Yeah, man.
What's up?
Oh my God. I just can't take it no more. I can't do it anymore. Like, we got the most injury prone two guys in the whole league. And then we were like, yo, what if we give Paul George a 4-year deal, a max deal? So we have no way to get out of this if it's just gonna blow up in our face, and it just blew up in our face, you know?
Yeah, dude, it is really it's pretty wild. And before we signed Paul George, me and some other, content creators were talking about it, and I was calling him the Michael Jordan of Tobias Harris's and whatever else. And I remember saying, like, because the Clippers were trying to trade him, and then I thought Golden State was going to make a trade for him, and I was like, listen, I said plenty of times, I was like, listen, if nobody's going to trade for him and Clippers aren't going to offer him a max extension, Daryl Morey's going to offer it to him. I knew it for a fact. And as soon as free agency hit, bam, max contract, Paul George. He was the only GM in the league offering him that money at that age, with the way he played in the playoffs last year and, his injury history. It's wild, man.
Yeah, and then the offseason, he was like, this is one of the best trades I've ever made in my whole life. Everyone was like, oh my God. All these people were like, oh my God, this was the greatest trade Daryl Morey has ever done in his whole life.
Yeah, when does Daryl Morey have to speak, man? Like, he's been in hiding, hasn't he? Like, bro, you screwed this team for the next 5 years, and you're just under a rock somewhere. Like, it's time for you to get in front of a microphone and say some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're 3-14, dude. You thought you had an amazing offseason, and you really tanked it. And that's the thing. If you tank this season, that's one thing, but you sign these guys to long-term contracts, bro. You just screwed us again you refused to trade Tobias Harris for like 4 years in a row. You screwed us all of those years, and now you screwed us for 4 more years.
Yeah, because we had Jimmy Butler, like we had him. You know?
Yeah, that was before Daryl Morey, but that,
That was, yeah.
But it is what it is, man.
Tobias Harris, like, that was just terrible. Tobias Harris is just grandfather. I don't know. He's just the grandfather of bricks. At least he can go to Detroit, have a fun time, and like win like at least like a game and like maybe 2 in a row. We can't even string together like a win, so he's having a fun time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Max, man. Thanks for calling the show, bro. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Max Man on the Discord, new caller, Max Man. Thanks for calling, man. I share your frustration. We all share the same frustration, and yeah, like my whole 5+ years of doing this on YouTube, I've had people say to me, you're so negative, you overreact. But now, right now, I'm honestly wondering what there is to look forward to. I mean, McCain and Maxey for the future, but you got these guys on long-term contracts who can't even get on the floor, bro. Now we find out Joel Embiid was hurt before you even signed him to the extension. And he's not even showing up to games. He's pushing reporters. He's telling the fans, I gave all to this city. I deserve to be treated better than this. He's like, this is a disaster. I don't know what's happening, man. Daryl Morey might be working on a Joel Embiid trade as we speak. Like, there might be an underlying, this whole like, oh, he's out with knee injury management. He played 2 games last week. Then had 2 days off and suddenly didn't play last Friday. And they said knee injury management, right? Then he was ruled out Sunday. Then he was ruled out today. And all they're saying is knee injury management. Daryl Morey might have, Joel Embiid might have requested a trade, man. And they might be facilitating something without us knowing. But he also signed an extension that didn't kick in yet, so I don't even think he's eligible to be traded, actually. I don't know what's going on, man. Yo, Skills is in the Discord. Skills.
I'm in.
What's up, Skills?
I'm in.
You're in, bro.
No way. I'm in.
What's up?
Is this 2 weeks in a row? I'm in?
Yeah,
I'm a Heat fan. That's it?
2 weeks in a row, man. I try to get to everybody. Sometimes I'm so mad about this team, I don't want to talk about it anymore, and I just hang up. But I try to get to everybody.
I was actually wanting to ask you, right? Instead of me telling you how I'm frustrated with the Sixers, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is going to happen with Paul George and Joel Embiid? What do you think happens with these guys? Like long term. Fuck this season.
Dude, it's a scary, scary thought, man. because I don't see an upturn. You know, even if Paul George gets healthy and starts playing like what he played like last season for the Clippers, like, yeah, that's cool. A 21 point per game guy. He's he's a Tobias Harris. He's better than Tobias Harris. He's a more creative jump shooter, and you know, but that's not gonna do a whole lot for you. And you got him for 4 years. The problem is that the whole thing is supposed to revolve around Joel Embiid, and he's dealing with the knee, and he's 7 feet tall. He's 30 years old. He's multiple knee surgeries. I don't see it getting better. And if it doesn't, you just have contracts on the books for years and years, dude. And you're at that point, you're like the 2010-ish Brooklyn Nets, you know, when they gave up all their draft picks or whatever for Ray Allen and all those guys, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, way past their prime, and screwed their franchise for the next 10 years, literally. And then screwed it again by trading 7 first-round draft picks for James Harden to put in, you know, all that too. They could be bad for a long time because they won't have any free agency money and they're running out of assets. And then it turns into the fans completely not caring anymore, because if there's no expectation for the team, then you're just the Washington Wizards or the Charlotte Hornets. And Josh Harris has been riding this profit train since he bought the team. And if that starts to go down, he might just say, screw this new arena, and he might sell the whole team or something. I don't know. It's like a whole bunch of pressure building up. Eventually, the whole thing's going to blow up, right?
You got to ask a Sixers fan. I'm just here to enjoy the ride.
I don't know if that answered your question or not, man.
I think Mufasa might have something to say, or A.D. Clint individual. He's been in there. I've been talking to him in the waiting room. He's got some good stuff to say. I'm just enjoying everything.
All right, bro. Well, thanks for calling, Mr. Skills. Mr. Skills in the Discord. I don't think he's a Sixers fan. I think he's laughing at our pain. But speaking of Mufasa, he is on the call-in. Mufasa.
Yo, DJ, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Mufasa, what's up?
Hey, is that way? There's so many people in the Discord out here talking at the same time. How the hell do I even mute them and just hear you?
I forgot that the call-in waiting room should be set on auto mute, so nobody should be able to talk in there at all.
Oh, bro.
I didn't know everybody was rambling to each other in the call-in waiting room.
They
This guy wanted to mute everybody. Felt like he was in a Call of Duty lobby. He was like, how the hell do I mute these guys, man? Yo, what's up, Mufasa?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Skills said you got some good stuff to say, man. What you got?
Hey, man. First of all, I'm trying to figure out how is it that Josh Harris, owner of the Sixers, has Bob Myers working with the Commanders right now and not have him with the Sixers.
Well, I mean,
what is that?
I mean, is Bob Myers the GM? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the former Golden State Warriors GM that got them 4 championships.
Okay, so he gets Bob. Well, I mean, I guess he thought Daryl Morey was the same kind of idea. Like when Daryl Morey left Houston, this is the guy that traded for James Harden and built a team that contended with the Golden State Warriors in 2016-17. And, you know, he's a modern day GM. He's analytic driven. He believes in a 3-point shot in the modern NBA. Like he probably thought Daryl Morey was that NBA GM.
And guess what?
You know,
he never won a chip. He got this man. I just saw him against the with the Eagles and the Commanders, the last game that they had.
Yeah.
He was in the suite with him right here. Because you know he owns the Commanders too.
Yeah.
The Sixers owner.
Yeah.
But let's just think about the future at this point. What I think is let's just sit Joel Embiid for the whole year, bro.
Well, that's what they need to do.
A Kevin Durant situation. Let's see if that knee can heal up and just start over next year. Well, that's stuck with him and Paul George for the next 4 years at least.
No, that's a good take, man. That's a good take.
Let's waste that year and see what we can get from them and develop our young players. I heard a whole lot of people talk about Bona already, and I just don't know why he doesn't play him. That boy was a defensive player of the year in the Pac-12 last year before we drafted him.
Look at my man Mufasa, man. He knows what he's talking about. He's got stats out here. He's got facts for us.
No, for real, man. I've been watching the Sixers. I went to the first game against the Bucks. Nobody's afraid to drive in the paint. There's no blocking presence. There's nothing, man.
Nope. There's nothing in there, man.
Who cares if he fouls out? Because I know a lot of people are afraid of him, like, getting in foul trouble too soon. Hey, man, I saw Zach Edey with the Memphis Grizzlies earlier in the season, getting like 3 fouls in 5 minutes, and then the more he played, the better he became at it. So let the kid get on the floor. I promise you, if it wasn't for injuries, we wouldn't know what Jared McCain has right now.
Nope. Facts.
So at this point, let these old dudes that are hurt take the year off. It's okay. We pay you for free. That's fine. We still have you for 4 fucking years anyway. So we got to deal with that. But let's see what we got with our young players. Like, you got rookies playing on other teams that are doing well. I've been seeing this kid, Missy, on the Pelicans, who was a rookie from the same draft class as McCain and Bona, like, contributing.
Yep.
Lively last year, lively with the Mavericks. They gave him a chance. Now he's part of the rotation. Same thing with Trace Jackson Davis.
Oh, are you talking about Lively?
Yeah, Derek Lively. He was a rookie last year.
Yep. He helped he helped them get to the finals.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
So like, let's try those young dudes. Quinones, I've been hearing you talk about Quinones, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's reading my mind. Do you realize that Lester Quinones is the same size as Jalen Green that we've played today? He's 6'4" like Jalen Green.
Yeah.
And we got 6'2" Eric Gordon seeing the floor, and this kid who was with the Warriors and is a very good three-point shooter cannot see the floor.
Nope. Yep.
Like, I just don't understand it. What are you playing for at this point? Let them play. Let's see what they got. And then next year we can see who we can keep and who we can't keep. Like, that's just, I was still having hopes in New.
Hey, and Justin Edwards was a high school All-American and went to Kentucky and shot 38% from three in his one season at Kentucky. Or maybe he played more than one season. I don't remember. I think he's 22 maybe. Yeah. But here's the thing, man. They're 3-14. At what point, if this keeps going like this, which I don't see it changing anytime soon, why would they suddenly start winning games? So if they get to 4-20, if they get to 5-25, you know what I mean? It's going to get to the point where you're going to have to hang up the season. You're going to have to, because then we're saying it right now. What's the point? But they can still argue now, like, oh well, if we get them back and we get there's still time. But it's going to get to the point where mathematically there's not still time. So hang it up and let's do. I agree with you. I think most people agree with you. I think the Sixers are going to ride it out for a little bit longer, but I think it's going to get to that point inevitably anyway. They're going to have to hang it up, and then you can't play Eric Gordon or Reggie Jackson, because what would be the point then,
Exactly. And honestly, even if they come back with the way I'm seeing Embiid limping on the court, he's not going to be able to sustain like a playoff push. So it's pointless at this point. Let's just hang it up. Like you said, Justin Edwards, very good player too, who is 6'7". At least we got some size there, and some folks they're trying to prove a point. So rebounding part is gonna be better. And if we gotta think about financial, like, let's think. I hate to say that, I can't even believe I'm saying it, but get a top 5-6 pick that we can have on the 4-year rookie contract that is gonna somewhat even what we give into Joel and Paul George right now. Like, I just don't see how these front office is not seeing that. And
I don't know, man.
I'm afraid at this point I don't even know if I want Cooper Flag, bro, to be honest with you, because one, the Philly pressure is insane, bro. They would run this kid out of Philly if he has 2 bad games as a number 1 pick, for instance. But I'll be happy to have him if he has some mental toughness. But I've been seeing that kid. I don't know if you've been looking at him. He's called S. Bailey. Yeah. He's playing for like Rutgers right now. 6'10", like shooting guy who could be like a small forward. Bro, I'll be happy if we get him as well.
I saw some big block highlights he had the other night, high off the backboard, like almost hit his head on the rim.
He's really good, man. And we can see what playing time does to young players. Look at the Spurs this year. Because they have the experience from last year, they playing better. The fucking Pistons, bro, are playing better and have a better record than us right now. Same thing with the Trailblazers, Portland. They were the joke of the NBA last year. But because the young players got some reps under the belt, they're playing better. The Rockets were not looking like this 2 years ago. So let's just hang it up, give them young boys some playing time. Let's not care about the record. Let them just have the experience, and then we can start this shit next year again because we have PG and Joel for the next 4 years anyway.
No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you, and I think it's going to get to that point anyway. Even if they try to, think they can, I don't see it turning around. I think it's going to get to that point where they have to say, all right, we're sitting Joel, and yeah, you're right. Don't. There's no point in forcing and playing through an injury. If he's really injured and has swelling in his knees or whatever, there's no point in forcing him back on the floor when you're 3-14 and the supporting cast looks the way that it looks. There's no point. It's not like we're doing kind of good and we're like, oh, if we just get Joel back, that's going to get us over the hump and we're going to be a championship team. No, you look terrible. So why would you force him back with an injury? Yeah, I agree with you, and I think it's going to get to that point, my man. Yo, Mufasa, bro, thank you for the call,
man,
dude.
I'm gonna email you. I wanna talk some business with you, so I'm gonna send you an email.
Yeah.
And then we can take it from there.
Yeah, bro, hit me up, man. Hey, Mufasa, where are you from, bro?
Hey, man, all the way from West Africa, man. It's a country called Benin, but I've been in Philly for 14 years, and I'm a diehard all Philly teams, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Shout out to my guy Mufasa. Philly by way of West Africa, man. Thank you so much for the call, bro. Have a good night.
You too, man.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, dude. I didn't want to assume. I could tell by the accent and the way he was talking about Bona and probably pronouncing his name correctly, which I can't do. Dude, awesome call, man. And great points. And yeah. Yeah, it's time to pack it in, man. It's time to say, hey, Joel, we're sitting Joel for the rest of the season, and we're 3-14. We suck. We're gonna get a high draft pick. We're gonna play all the young guys the rest of the year. Let Joel and Paul George get healthy. Get a high draft pick and try again next season. It's gonna get to the point where that's what you got to do. I think he's right. A decent in the Discord.
What? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out, bro.
Hey, man. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm probably the last one to do it. So,
what's going on, bro? Hey, it sounds a little bit muffled. Kind of sounds like your phone's under a pillow or something.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better. It's a little better, I think.
All right, so check it. Let me keep it short and sweet. I didn't see the game, but I saw the highlights. But everything was written in stone. But watching it, I was like, I saw the stats. I was like, all right. Adam Bona did not play again, but you played the guys that you would normally have as first and second center. And you played them together.
Yep.
And Bona still didn't see the floor.
Play them together. Exactly, dude. Isn't that crazy? He started Yabusele and Drummond. So I thought that meant Bona was going to play backup center. Instead, he played Yabusele and Drummond 43 minutes and 29 minutes.
It gave Bona no minutes. How did you do that?
I don't know.
How does that happen?
Doc Rivers 2.0, man.
I don't understand what Nurse thinks. What is this beef with Bona? What makes them angry?
I don't know, man. Especially when you know, it's not like your defense is kind of okay and you might be able to work him in there, but you're doing okay with what you got. You're not defending anybody in the entire NBA. My 9-year-old son could get a layup on these guys, and you're just running the same thing out there. How do you expect to win a game? Like, what makes him think I'm going to put Yabusele at center in the fourth, and this time he's not going to get smoked?
Nothing's going to take. Nothing is going to take. I love Yabusele, but he's 6'8".
Right. He's a stretch four. He's an offensive player. He can't play center, bro.
460 pounds. Like, he's not going to move that lateral at 6'8". When you got some of these big men that's moving around. athletic, it's impossible.
Man, there saw a couple Jalen Green ISOs on him, and I was like, oh, he's cooked. And he burned past him like he was a parked car, man.
I was laughing the whole time. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you got him back out there. Where's Bona? Please don't do this to us. You got a guy out there that's gonna give you athleticism, physicality, and wants to block shots.
I don't understand. Let me ask you what do you think is going to happen? Because the pressure keeps building, right, on the management and ownership as your record gets worse and worse and worse, and you drag out this Joel Embiid thing longer and longer and longer, and Nick Nurse refusing to make any adjustments. And like we said, at what point do they start saying, we got to get rid of this coach? 3-20, 3-30. Like, what is it? Or does he get the excuse? Does he get the excuse that my main guys are injured, so it's not my fault?
No, I agree with that. This is the problem I have with him.
I can't hear you anymore, man.
All right, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Kinda.
Can you hear me now?
Kinda.
All right. Yeah, one of my earbuds dropped out my ear. But can you still hear me?
No, it's very muffled. I don't know what you're saying.
Oh no! One of my earbuds dropped out of my ear and fell on the ground somewhere. Now I'm trying to find it. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you at all, man. But hey, decent, man. Thanks for calling the show, brother. I appreciate it, man.
It's all good, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem. I had to get a decent, man. Good. Thanks for the call, but we really can't, understand what you're saying. But for future reference, don't use AirPods on the Discord. Just put it on speaker and talk to your phone. You know what I mean? Because that's what that was. I was like, why does it sound like he's underwater? It's because he was using a AirPod. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna get to the point where, yeah, you're 3-14. When do you change things? 3-20, 3-30, 4-50. I guess I think I have this fear that they're not going to change anything because they're going to ride this excuse of, Joel and Paul George are hurt. They're going to ride that excuse the whole season. So they're going to bring, Morey and they have an excuse every year. Every year they have an excuse. Well, we were hindered by the Tobias Harris thing. Well, the Ben Simmons situation. Well, we fired Doc Rivers and we got a new coach. And it was the first year. They always have an excuse. Now it's going to be, Joel Embiid and Paul George were hurt, and we didn't really get to see what the team would really look like. And so now next year they're going to be healthy, so we're going to bring back Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse and try again. That's probably what they're going to do, bro. But you're getting very close to this fan base not caring anymore. You know what I mean? You're getting very close to this to you saying to this fan base, hey, you guys want to re-up your season tickets? Joel and Paul George are going to play this year. You're getting very close to everybody on the other line saying, hell no. I'll re-up my season tickets when I see some fresh energy in this team. And that's when you start affecting the owner's pockets, and that's when things start to change majorly. So it's all a natural cycle of up and down, whatever, economics and shit. But I don't know. Something has to change at some point, man. I'm out. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Go have yourself some adult beverages if you're above the age of 21 in the United States. If you're above the age of 18 in every other country in the world, go have yourself some adult beverages, celebrate Thanksgiving. And forget about the 76ers until next game. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.